Welcome to Chance. Kyle here. Welcome to my review of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is directed by Scott Derrickson and stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Tilda Swinton, Rachel McAdams and Benedict Wong, and is the brand new film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is the debut of Doctor Strange. I went into this not being that excited. Obviously I wanted to go see it because it's a Marvel movie and I love Marvel, but I was sort of like, I was slightly on the ropes, not because it looked terrible. The trailers were okay overall, but the character didn't really excite me that much. It didn't look that. It's not that it looked terrible. It's just it didn't look like it would be a very interesting movie. Obviously, it would be naturally there'd be a lot of interest in it. It has Benedict Cumberbatch, all these different actors like Rachel McAdams and Tilda Swinton. They're all big popular actors and everything. But still, I was more excited for Captain America: Civil War or Batman vs Superman, the other films of the year. But honestly, I really did enjoy this. I'll start off with the good because I actually genuinely don't have a lot of bad. I really did enjoy this film. The performances overall were brilliant. Like, there wasn't a single person who didn't do a good job. Like, everybody had a very good performance. Particularly Benedict Cumberbatch. I've always loved Benedict Cumberbatch. It depends on what role you have him in. There's some performances which are a little bit iffy, but for overall, I like him. Like in Sherlock or in Star Trek Into Darkness. This character can be quite similar to both of them in certain ways. Well, actually, more just Sherlock, but he did do a very good job here. He has a fairly good American accent. Like, if you didn't already know that he was British, you wouldn't know. He actually has a brilliant American accent. He has this really great performance. He plays this sort of arrogant, he plays a very arrogant character. Like the whole film, the plot is sort of this neurosurgeon, and he gets in this big accident and he has to go sort of find himself, and he discovers these sort of magical powers that can be within any of us as long as we sort of channel them. But he's a brilliant character. He plays him very well. Tilda Swinton, as well as the Ancient One, she's brilliant. Like, she's very good. Everybody was sort of on the ropes about this character because there was a lot of controversy when she was sort of cast, because she doesn't look anything like the character. The character in the comics is like a man, is Asian. He's sort of very old. He's got a beard and everything, or sort of like a goatee type thing. But and this character is very different. But she does do a brilliant job as the character, and she has many. Literally, all of her scenes are very good. Chiwetel Ejiofor and Benedict Wong are very good as well. I thought the roles were going to be bigger, but they are very good in the roles. Everybody does do a good job. Rachel McAdams as well is very good. She's very funny, her character. Actually, that's another thing I loved about this movie. From the trailers, if you've seen them, they are sort of very serious. They are very dark in a way. Particularly the first teaser trailer, I thought before going to see this film, I thought it was going to be very dark. I thought it was going to be very sort of gloomy type, sort of Dark Knight. You know, this really dark film. It has jokes here and there, but it is very dark. But actually, this movie is awfully funny. It's very, very funny. Obviously, it has its sadder, more grittier, darker moments, but it is very, very funny. I really did enjoy it. Scott Derrickson is a very good director. I've never seen any of his films. He's sort of known for horror films, like he did Insidious, I think, but he does do a very good job here. This movie, it's sort of a perfect film for him because, you know, horror movies, it sort of does deal with sort of the dark, mystical sort of arts and everything. And the visuals in this movie are brilliant. Like, I hate to say this, there's some of the best effects I've ever seen. At times, they can be a little bit iffy because, the green screen, particularly, that's what I'm really referencing in one or two shots. But overall, the effects are brilliant. There's a lot. This movie is one of the most creative films, Marvel wise or DC wise, I've ever seen. Sort of, it's in fairness, it would be because it's about these people who can harness magic. They can tear apart buildings. They can tear apart this. They can conjure up realities and everything. But there's so many interesting visuals, things where like entire cities are flipping and they're changing, and different roads are like, they're literally new roads and new things are being created. It's really great. It's really imaginative, going into these different dimensions and all. But honestly, I love this film. There's the action scenes as well. There isn't a lot of action in the first third of the film. There isn't a lot of action. There's one action scene at the very start, but other than that, there isn't a lot of action. Yet that part is very entertaining. The second and third second and third acts are filled with action. They're filled with really good action scenes. The action scenes are brilliantly shot. Obviously, quite creative because all of these people can harness magic except for one or two characters, but it makes the scenes even better. You know, like, they're brilliant. They don't overstay their welcome. They're spaced out a lot, which is always good because they're not just right after another. It is very funny, as I mentioned earlier. Particularly in those action scenes, because a lot of very good one-liners, especially with Doctor Strange. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the bad. There isn't a lot of bad. Particularly just the villain, I had to say. The villain, the performance, it's Mads Mikkelsen. I haven't seen him a lot. I've seen him in Casino Royale, which he was very good in. But other than that, I haven't seen him a lot. But his performance isn't bad. It's not bad. It is good. But the only it's not particularly good, but it's, I mean, he didn't do a bad job. The material he was given, he did a fine job with. But the character is very one note. He's very sort of, oh, I've got this backstory. My character is that backstory. That's what he's like. The entire time he's sort of referencing that backstory. He's talking about talking to characters about that backstory, or to things to do with that backstory. He is very one note. He isn't a very interesting character, and I hate to say he's one of the worst Marvel villains. In fairness, a lot of Marvel villains in the movies aren't very good, but he is one of the weaker ones. Especially, he actually doesn't have a lot of screen time either. He's only in about 5, 6 scenes. And then there's another villain in the film. I don't want to spoil it. I'm just going to quickly finish off here. But the other villain in the movie, he isn't particularly great. I don't want to spoil who it is because it's a major spoiler if you've seen the film. But he isn't a great villain. He is also one note. He fares better than the other villain. But anyway, overall, I really enjoyed this film. I thought I had great acting, great performances. I just said the same thing twice. But it had really great special effects. It had really great creativity to it. Very unique, very interesting. I really liked it. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Have you seen Doctor Strange? Are you going to go see it? If you have, what did you think of it? Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. This was a pleasant surprise. I hope you guys enjoyed too. Bye.